Alrighty, BGFH back here for another level of Doom Shareware. Now we're back on track. We are on episode 1, level 4. So all the main levels are just numbered numerically, and then they put the secret levels, or they put those as just episode or level 9 in the various episodes. So now we're back on track on the mainstream levels. Again, got some pretty cool rockin' MIDI music here. Like I said, I've always loved the music in Doom. It's one of the better MIDI soundtracks, especially PC game soundtracks, that I really liked. Descent was also pretty memorable for different reasons. That was more of, it had kind of a rockish kind of thing going on, but it was a lot of kind of more modern techno-y, or just kind of just a different sound. But there was some really pretty cool music in that one too. Actually, Descent is another game that I think I have a copy through Good Old Games, but those games were messed up. You know, we thought Doom was crazy. We thought Doom was crazy with, you know, okay, oh, now we have, you know, stairs and elevators and walls and secrets and all this other crazy stuff. Descent was freaking nuts. I know, I mean, some people just couldn't even play it because it was just that crazy, but it took a while to get the hang of, but I got okay at it. I was never great, but I could do okay. The trick with Descent was it was a first-person game, but it was actually you were flying in these little ships. And the thing is, it wasn't that you were flying out in open space. You were actually flying through these different bases and different closed-off environments. You know, similar to like a Doom or, you know, Wolfenstein level. I mean, I would say more of a Doom level kind of thing. But you were flying, you weren't walking, so you weren't, you know, like if there was a higher ledge, you weren't restricted by, okay, I can't jump, or maybe I have to figure out a way to jump up there, or whatever. You had full 360-degree movement, so I could move up and down and left and right. My craft could do, like, you know, a full barrel roll, and you weren't sure half the time if you were on the floor, the ceiling, the wall. It was nuts. It was very cool, but it could be very disorienting. Like I said, I mean, a lot of fully sighted people had trouble. Where is that? There it is. A lot of fully sighted people had a little difficulty playing that one. It was really cool, but really messed up. You really had to be in the right skill set to be able to play that one. That would be one that would be a franchise that I would, in a way, like to see come back. You know, I like the idea of flying not just in space, you know, where it's just, oh, okay, there's a planet off in the distance, or, you know, we're just flying through a bunch of stars. I like the crazy idea of just going through a level and, you know, you have walls, you have ceilings, you're like flying through these bases and stuff, because it's a whole different type of feel that I don't think too many games have really done since then, and I can't think of very many. So here we go. There's a bunch of different ways. That area that I was up in there, that round area, that was kind of like a little hub for the level. A lot of different areas branch off from there. Stupid imp. But I don't want to go up there yet because I want to shoot a barrel. No, actually what I want to do is I want to go this way through some more poison, get a whole bunch of rockets and ammo and armor and health and shotgun ammo, and hit this elevator real quick and get up there right away, because otherwise it will leave you behind. And I don't think that one you can actually take down again. And get another one of those. Some more health. There's another dude in here, isn't there? I forget what these switches in here actually do. Okay, the elevator. I don't think... Okay, that's just another way up here. Got it. Alright, I'm gonna gonna save here for now. So in the last level, I talked about another one of Doom's firsts. You know, like I said, we talked about the technical stuff. We talked about the first to be online multiplayer. Again, another first that Doom really had going for it was its ability to be modded. Wolfenstein 3D, for the most part, was Wolfenstein 3D. There were people who did mod it later on. At least I don't really know of Wolfenstein 3D being easily modded, at least right away. I didn't hear about it back then, and for all I know, maybe it did, but I know where it really took off was Doom. So in Doom, people could make their own levels. They could modify just the way weapons behaved. You know, swap out actual textures or actual skins for levels or for items in the world. So, like, I had a friend of mine. You know, we'd go play Doom sometimes, and his little brother, they would do all just kinds of weird, crazy stuff where you would make the rocket launcher become essentially like a machine gun that would just spew out rockets, or a pistol that would have explosive damage, or just all kinds of weird stuff that you could do. And then, like I said, you could take all of the different textures and elements that made up the full game and mod it. So I could make my own levels. And this became a hugely popular thing with Doom because they came out with, you know, they added more levels officially. It did, with like the Ultimate Doom and stuff like that. But you could literally go to some software shops sometimes, and you know, you see these little plastic bags of somebody come into the store and wanted to sell, you know, like 50 Doom levels on a disc, you know, for what, a couple bucks, $5 or something. You would get them online, just people sharing them on like bulletin boards and different things like that. So there were just tons of different levels, and it was really kind of amazing. Some of the levels were just, you know, really focused on devious level design, or needing to figure out a whole bunch of secrets to get through the level, or, you know, sometimes it was just wicked hard. You know, it's like, okay, well, you have to have a hell of a computer to run this thing, because, yeah, this level is all about, we're gonna put like 700 guys, and yeah, go ahead and try to survive. Yeah, go for it. Just any kind of variation, you know, like just a real, you know, taking what they would do in the original Doom. You know, you would be taunted with, like, oh, here's some health and armor, or a new weapon, and just a real dick move of like, oh, okay, now we're gonna close the walls in on you, and here's 14 guys to do it. I mean, there's just a crazy stuff, and some of them were just made to be unwinnable, and it was just a matter of how long could you last. I played a couple of those levels too. Other levels were more, you know, people wanted to see what they could do as far as creating real world environments. So, you know, if you lived in a, you know, huge apartment building, maybe or your house, you wanted to make a deathmatch level out of your house. Schools, office buildings, anything like that. Just, you know, maybe a little street with a bunch of little houses in it, or stuff like that. So, you know, people started trying to put the real world into the games, and that's where I'll kind of talk about in another video as we're going through these episodes, but a lot of the controversy that games like Doom and Mortal Kombat really started to, you know, to name a couple, started to spur some controversy there. So, but the mod stuff was just cool. I mean, there were so many things you could do. You know, I mean, the other thing that people do is you could adapt the skins or the sound effects to be different. So I could be playing the Doom levels, but let's say a certain mod, I could replace all of the weapons in Doom for, you know, they look different, or they look and behave different. I could replace the enemies to be, people could make little, I know there were like South Park, Simpsons mods, so you're shooting a whole bunch of like, I don't know, a whole bunch of Krusties for a certain type of enemy, a whole bunch of Bart Simpsons for another, or Homers, or Sideshow Bob, or whatever. You know, there was one, I used to play South Park Quake on occasion, because that was sort of amusing. They had a pretty funny mod for that. Just all kinds of crazy stuff. And then you had what they would call, what they started calling a total conversion, where instead of just swapping out a few, you know, few textures or a few things here and there, what they would actually do is they would take and they would basically use the core engine, you know, the core background of a game like, say, Doom, and they would turn it into their own game. And this was really popular in a lot of older, or a lot of PC games back then. It still is fairly popular, actually. I mean, there were a few different ones, but one really... Oh, shit, I was too close to that barrel. Ow. That was dumb. That was my fault. How much health did I lose from that? Well, not the brightest thing I've ever done, but at least I still got a lot of health. But they had an Aliens mod, so you could basically play... You know, they changed everything to make it look like the ship in Aliens, and the enemies, and the sound effects, and some music, and just, you know, different audio clips, like, let's say, from the movie. Really cool. I should really try to figure out and dig up a mod or two just to show you guys eventually. But it was just, they were really, there's still, I think, a few people going back to some of these older games that can actually do some pretty interesting things with what these older engines probably weren't even meant to do. So with that, there's how we did, and I will see you guys in the next video.